Hey there, it's Matt, Blue Boat Garage, and today I am out here working on the boat. I'm going to do a couple things on it. I got the new wheels and tires that I had ordered. They're all mounted up, balanced. I did have two of the tires when I brought them home from the shop. They had a lot of weight on them. One had 5 ounces, one had 4.5 ounces, and I'm talking 17-inch low-profile tires that are not huge. So that, to me, that seemed very excessive. Back in 1989, 1990, for about a year, I mounted and balanced tires. And if we had anything that was out of balance by 3 ounces or less, we would take the tire off the wheel or break the bead, spin the wheel inside the tire and re-air it. And then you'd rebalance it. And you would do that until you got it to the point where you required a reasonable amount of weight. 5 ounces to me on that small of a tire just seemed really bad. So I took them back. Customer service wise, they were great. They didn't complain about my complaint. He took them out there, broke the bead, spun the tire on the wheel, rebalanced them, and he got them down considerably less. They're half the weight that they had on them previously. So got all 4 wheels and tires back, but the reason I'm replacing those is the front alignment on this guy is not great. I set it when the suspension was brand new, and then I never checked it after the suspension settled. And so my front camber tires are sitting like this. They're not that dramatic, but it's noticeable that you can look at the car and see that the camber's out, that it's got a lot of positive or negative camber. So I got to redo the camber on this thing. And the last time when I set it, I didn't have a proper tool. I've never done front end alignments before. I got a kit that makes doing the toe and the camber very easy, at least measuring it. And on this car, the upper control arms bolt down onto a platform and then they slide. They have grooves that they slide in and out, and that's how you set the camber. So the camber is your wheel this way. So if you got 2 wheels on the car and this is the ground, if the tops are tilted in, that is negative camber. If the tops are tilted out, that's positive camber. So the way you adjust camber is by sliding these control arms in or out. I didn't have the proper tool for doing it. I was using pry bars and all kinds of stuff to get it. And I got it close. Actually, at the time, it was correct. But then again, like I said, as the springs in the new front, my new front springs took a seat, the front end settled, and then the camber got more and more negative. So I will be fixing that today. And a while back on eBay, I found myself one of the tools. So this is the correct tool needed to adjust that. This is actually a snap-on tool. And I got it for like 30 bucks. Used one on eBay because most alignment shops don't need these anymore because there's not a lot of these running around. So the tools are out there. You can find them on eBay. I'm going to do the alignment on this thing, and then I'm going to put on the new shoes. So you can actually see them back there in the background. Those are the same size wheel that's on the rear of the car. It's an inch wider than the wheels that are currently on the front of the car. I mentioned it before, the American Racing wheels that are on this car, I absolutely love the look of them, but they no longer make this particular wheel. They make a similar one that costs like 6 times as much. I paid 160 bucks a piece for these wheels. The closest I can get from American Racing now is about $700 a wheel. So in 2 wheels, I ended up saving money by buying a full set of 4 wheels. So new wheels and tires are going on. Let's get to work. Assembled rotor. Let's talk about what we got going on here. This is just an impact gun down here on one of the 2 bolts that holds that upper arm in place. You can see one there, there's the other there. So I'm working on the rear one at the moment. So that's there. Then this tool, this is the original snap-on tool I showed you, I had to modify it. It had a second half of a hook that went here which was perfectly fine for the stock upper control arm shafts. However, these PMT fabrication upper control arms have a significantly beefier upper shaft. So this clamp with the double hook on it would not go on the other, I couldn't get it over the shaft. So I cut the rear hook off and I had to flatten this out a little bit, because even once that was off, this had, from the casting, it had a ridge down the middle here, and that was causing it to pop off as I was trying to adjust it. So the way this works, there's a hole in the shock tower frame, whatever you want to call this portion of it here. It's actually part of the frame. It's where the top of the coil spring sits. So there's two holes here. There's one on this side and one on this side. And that goes like that. You loosen up the bolt and you're able to pry to bring the top of the control arm outward. I wasn't worried about having the inside, the pusher on here, because if you loosen this up, gravity, the weight of the car, pushes the upper control arms in. So I didn't need that portion of the tool. So, and out here, let me grab my little cell phone. I can show you what I got going on over here. All right, so this is a quick trick alignment tool setup. This is currently timed out, turns itself off, but I am looking for 0.1 degree negative camber, which when I started out here, I don't even know what it was at because I didn't check. I adjusted it a little bit before I even put this on. And when I first powered this up after zeroing it on the floor, I was at 0.5. I was at significantly steeper negative camber even after adjusting it. I'll check that other one, the other side, but you can see right now I'm at 0.2 degrees. So I just need to go just a little bit more. So I am going to loosen this back up. A little bit, see if I can get a little bit more. I need a little looser. There it goes. All right, let's see if I can get this to 0.1. I'm afraid I'm gonna slip and rip my arm open on this friggin' hood hinge, because that's the kind of luck I have. All right, that is loose now. Let's see if I can get this thing to move. There it goes, it's moving. I need it to be, I'm going too far. There's 0. I'm going 0. All right, let's see what I got here. Get this out of the way. Yep, I'm good. All right, so this guy, let's see here. All right, so the way this works, it's got these clips that hold it onto the wheel. So it gets pushed between the lip of the wheel and the tire. So that clamps onto the wheel. You want it vertical. And then this, come on. I need to zero this on the floor here where this is sitting, just in case the floor changed from the other side of the car. Yeah, the floor is a little bit off. So I'm at 0 right now. So let's see where I'm starting out at on this wheel since I haven't touched it. It's at a negative 0.7. I'm supposed to be at 0.1. I'm going to go to, I should say, the performance settings I have for this car are 0.1, but since I'm driving it more on the road, not on the track right now, I'm going to go to 0, which is pretty sure what stock was. So I'm at 0.7. I need to move this thing quite a bit. All right, so put the tool in place. Apparently I tightened this one up good. I'm gonna have to get a breaker bar. Let's try this the other way here. I got same if I go 90. I'll get a better angle on this so I'm not, there we go. Okay, that one's broke. That one's broke. All right. All right, there it goes. It's moving. And I'm still turned on here. There's 0.2. There is 0. Let's make sure it's still at 0. It is still at 0. All right. So, just gonna throw the breaker bar on here, tighten these all up nice and tight. And when I put this front end back together, all these bolts are brand new grade 8 bolts. So I don't have any of the old kind of crusty ones that were on there. Tighten up both sides here. All right. I'm gonna give this the eyeball check. I don't know, that still looks like it might be tilted, but that could just be an optical illusion. I need to check and make sure this thing is fully on the wheel. Yep. All right. So, what I'm probably going to do anyway, now that I got this thing very close, is I will end up taking this into a shop, giving them the specs and have them do it, rather than just trying to do it myself. This is one of those things where it pays to have the right tools. All right, so now comes the fun part. Let's put the new wheels on. This is gonna be on the rear. I need to leave myself a little room to work back there. So in this car, the back wheels are tucked up quite a bit under the rear fenders, and there's no room to wiggle in there. So what I have to do is put the car up as high as I can, drop it down on jack stands on the frame, and then let the axle droop. Back in the day when you were, your original jack that came with this car was a bumper jack, it would have lifted the car by hooking onto the bumper. Not exactly the safest thing in the world if you've ever used one, which I have. Let's make sure this is the right key for these lug nuts. It is. Perfect. Get that out of the way until you jack the car up, dummy. All right. All right, that should give me enough, I think. Oh, I guess I'll go higher since I still can't. Oh, there's a frame. There's a good spot for it right there. That'll give my axle plenty of droop. All right, we're gonna drop it down onto the jack stands now. It's on the stands. Let's let that. Gotta keep the wheels off the ground. I'm off the ground. Does that give me enough to get them out? Yes. All right, here we go. Recording. Just go ahead and walk through. I'll edit you out. All right. There's the old one, which these guys should be the same width, just slightly shorter because this is a 45 series as opposed to a 50 series. And let me make sure we're on camera here, which we are, so you can see the difference in the wheels. They're both late 60s pattern wheels. Now, the question is, because this is a little bit different back spacing than the other ones, I think it was off by a ½ an inch. Am I gonna fit without hitting anything? Let's see here. Why am I doing this by hand? That's dumb. Let's see what we got back here. Oh yeah, tons of room on the back. That will change as the suspension travels though, so I'm gonna have to check it again when it's on the ground. But currently, I got tons of room. But for now, let's get these on here. All right, there's that one. Let's go to the other side. All right, good on the front. Lots of room on the back. All right, let's get this out of the way. There's my two rears. Let's do some fronts.
Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Holy cow. I can't get under the crossmember back there currently because I'm too low. I do have a frame crossmember up front here. Or, you know, I'm gonna do one at a time. Just put this thing right here on the frame rail. Yep. All right, we're up. Another nice thing about the new wheels and tires compared to my old ones, I don't know if you can see these on camera. You can't. Let me move it over here. Here we go. If you look at the tread pattern, this is a directional tread pattern. That is forward. The wheels are not directional, but the tires are. Also, having them staggered, meaning wider in the rear, narrower up front, meant that these could not be rotated at all ever. I had one wheel per location on the car. These new ones, all the same size, all the same tire, and the tire is non-directional, which means I can put them wherever I need them. I just sucked my battery dry. Let me go grab another battery. All right. There's those. Bring this off. Here's the old one. Here's the new one. There's that. Let's get my little alignment piece of 2 sheets of metal out of there. This wheel's a little bit taller than the previous one. This should make the front end look a little better too, I think. Slightly taller. Significantly wider. And they stick out closer to the edge of the car. One more wheel and tire. Yikes. So, let's take a look here. This tire is toast. All right, over here, tons. Over here, sadly, not so much. And there it is right there. There's even a little bit of fabric. And that's how to destroy a good set of tires in a short period of time. Get your car aligned. All right, one more tire to go on the car. All right, last thing to do is torque the lug nuts and then take her for a drive. All right. So the reason I was looking at the lug nuts earlier is even though these have the right angle on the where they meet the wheel itself has got kind of a large hole where the stud comes through. And not a lot of seating surface for these lug nuts. So I will get a different type of lug nut, which will have a little more seating surface. Same angle, but it actually has a little bit of an insert that goes into the hole in the wheel. We are all torqued. All right, so there it is. New wheels and tires. Front end alignment is way better than it was. Don't know if it's 100%. I'll find out when I take this thing into a shop. I do like the look of them. I need to get this thing out in the sun, take a couple pictures of it. I will have before and after shots as well. But yeah, I'm digging it. All right, let's take this thing out. and make sure I don't have anything dragging. I need to raise this hood bumper a little bit. All right. Warm up. All right, letting it warm up a little bit before I take it out for a test drive. But I am liking the look of the new wheels. Definitely a little more meat up front. All right. Mostly warmed up. Let's go see what we got here. No rubbing, no scraping. That's good. It definitely, I mean, granted I'm doing 20 miles an hour, but it seems a little more responsive on the front. So the thing I did not like about the previous tires that were on here was that they had good traction through the corners, but the initial turn-in sucked. You'd get a couple degrees on the steering wheel before you would start to feel anything. And then that tread pattern was horrible about grabbing grooved concrete when you were on the freeway. And quite honestly, it feels like it's riding smoother too, which is weird. I mean, those were the tires that were on here were Riken Raptors. I bought them only because they came in the sizes that I need or needed. So now that I've got a more conventional sized tire, there's lots of options for me. On the side street here, how's this thing doing in the corner here? Oh yeah, definitely hooks the corners better. There is definitely a lot more bite on these tires. The tires that I put on it here are Continental Extreme Contact Sport 2s. On my WRX, I've used those tires, except I think they were the first gen tire, not 2s. They were sports. And I really liked them. Continentals on lots of cars for quite a while. No, squirrel! Ah.
Woo! That was a lucky ass squirrel. Right between my front wheels and between the left two wheels. Currently, these are feeling really good. Oh, I love this car. It's tracking nice and straight. Turn in is almost immediate. My alignment actually feels really good too. I will take this thing to an alignment shop and have them double check to make sure I got what I think I did. But right now, it's driving great. Definitely feels better than it did with those other tires. And with a much wider front tire, this thing won't have the understeer that it had before. Plus, it's got stickier tires. Yep, I am not unhappy at all. For that matter, I had a weird vibration at this speed before, and quite honestly, I thought it might have been drive shaft. Like I thought I had a problem with my pinion angle. I'm not feeling it at all. That might have been a tire thing. I gotta go find some curvy roads. I think we're getting much closer to being ready for autocross.
All right, so there it is. They definitely feel better. I do like the looks. I don't know if I would say better. I don't like them any less. I liked the previous wheels quite a bit, for that matter. They're gonna end up on the 63 Galaxy. So, I'm digging it. This thing is definitely ready to go hit the autocross course as soon as I get my front brake bleeding out, a little bit of pressure when I corner issue resolved. So that'll be next. Oh, forgot to say it. If you like what you're seeing here on this channel, please like, share, subscribe. Send these videos to your friends that are car people. Even if they're not car people, come on, look at this car. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got. Thank you for being here. Thanks for watching.